Arvind was a visionary. He thought about everything. He planned the whole thing, and then he made certain that the goal was laid up. Dr. Rohidas was the educator, thought in terms of educating people in terms of endoscopic surgery, and made certain that we learned the techniques well. Rajkumar Deshpande was a short, dapper spine surgeon from Bangalore, who was a pioneer in the era of COVID. Amit Jala, my very close friend, turned to be the bridge builder in the situation. And then it was my gain to take over at this point of time to consolidate all the gains that have been created and met out at this point of time. Of course, the presidents take all the credit. The captains take all the credit. The team does it. The men who did all the hard work over the years in building this organization. Amit, Arvind, Alok, Ajay, the rest of the people. There are many whom I do not have mentioned, and there are many who have worked silently over the years. The bullock cart had silently started to move over time. The first meeting in Ahmedabad started in 2014, and then success in small efforts is repeated daily. And this is the process which has been inculcated for us. And when the movement started in 2014, it surely took off on firm steps. The cart had now undergone a change where it became endoscopic decompression, navigation, robotics, and it became India-specific. Innovation leads to leadership, as Steve Jobs said, and all these things started to be innovated and made in India. Now slowly the cart moved on to be an express train. Technology was taking over, and momentum took over, and the evolution of spine surgeries happened in terms of MISSI or MISS-AP being in full flow. MISSI becomes a large pad for innovation, endoscopic tubular surgery, robotic techniques emerges, and transition from basic tools to advanced technology happens. To grow, and a small group of people became a growing family, grown from a few to a pan-India network, with inclusivity which included neurosurgeons, orthopedic surgeons, trainees and all alike, urban plus rural impact through education and outreach, and we had truly reached all over India, and now we are truly global indeed. So just to give you a bird's eye view of MISS-AP over the years, starting from 2014 in Ahmedabad by Amit Jala, Arvind Kulkarni in 2015, 16 Dr. Arun Banat in Delhi, 17 by myself in Chennai, and of course 18 Dr. Alok, Mohinder Kausal in Chandigarh, Pramod, and then Dr. Akshit, again Dr. Ajay, and now Arvind and Ayush in Mumbai to go back to a cycle. In between we have had these other flagship courses like cadaver programs, etc., which have been the flag bearers for our training programs. The transformation into the bullet train has certainly happened now post-COVID. Kamat the hour, kamat the man, they say. There were many men who put their hands up for the change. There are too many to name. The vertical divisions in various endoscopies, tubular surgeries, navigation, neuromodulation, robotics, all these subspecialties within this took over, and the whole transformation moved on and chugged on in a big way. So we have tubes and navigation, robotics, people who played a role. Again, don't want to mention names, there are too many, and of course, I just want to put a collage of all these people who have done this work here. Arvind, primarily in Mumbai, Vishal Kundani, Vikas, all these people here have done a lot of enormous amount of work in the young trades now. Endoscopy became a separate vertical, and of course, took over with Satish Gore and PC Day, Mohinder Kausal, Ridas, Sukumar Sura, Pramod, all of them playing a role. Malcolm, again from here, playing a big role in developing the Endoscopic Society. We now moved along into having global footprints and also partnering various people. So we have our presence with SMISS, we have presence with the Japanese Society, Professor Kotani from the Japan Society is here, and also various people from the US and other parts where everybody is partnering with us into making this into a global meeting. MISS-AP also has a role in shaping the future. The elderly have to leave, the young have to take over. And when the young take over, it's truly a transformation into a bullet train. We have all the youngsters in the group, the young Turks I call them, Neeraj, Ranjit, Ajay, Ayush. Arvind moved on from the young Turk into an old Turk now. So all these things have happened, and all of them have played a role in transforming this bullock cart from my side into the bullet train of present day, which you see in MISS-AP. So MISS-AP Con is shaping leaders through learning. It's a hub for exchange, cadaver labs, workshops, and mentorships. We're now global ambassadors of MIS. We've also played a role in the CSR activities where outreach programs have helped various people in terms of making sure that the technique of minimally invasive surgery goes to the common man at a low-cost modality. We also celebrate excellence. We have Lifetime Achievement Awards given to Gauri, Rajkumar Deshpande, as well as Rohidas. And we also had publications and book publications, Arvind producing a book for the society, of course, Naresh, others. Of course, I had my share of glory in playing and winning the nationals in India, and of course, representing India in the World Championships. What do we have in front of us? The best is yet to come. AI-assisted surgeries, AI for training education, MISS-AP as a global reach platform, and rural MI as units to take it to Tier 2, Tier 3 towns. And this is what healthcare is all about, and that's what MISS-AP is all about. My reflections from a participant to being the president today has been one of gratitude to the founders, the peers, my friends, and my colleagues. Also been a leadership lesson for me in resilience and in community and in interaction and personality work. My seniors as presidents before took me on this journey. Leaders don't force people to follow. They invite them on a journey. My predecessors did that, and I hope I do the same for my colleagues coming down. At the end, I want to leave as one. How you inspire others to be the best version of themselves, and that is true success. And that's what I hope I can inspire somebody to go on and do the best. Thank you, MISS-AP. Is thanking myself, thanking my team. Thank you, MISS-AP. And the power of working in a team certainly is one which we all know. Thank you again.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us the words of wisdom. There's a small token from our side. We'd like to appreciate you. So, a big round of applause. So moving on, this is the moment we were all waiting for. So let me invite you, the man who needs no introduction, Dr. Arvind Kulkarni, who is the showman for this show. So over to you, Arvind.
Dear friends and colleagues, it is an incredible moment. It is a historical day today. The international community of spine is coming together today. 3 illustrious societies are coming under one roof. Today is a day of stories that we are going to listen to and stories that we are going to create. The very fact that we are sitting in this unparalleled, majestic, iconic Taj Palace Hotel itself is a historical moment. It's a story in itself. In fact, the genesis of this particular hotel has legends of stories viewed around it. One such being that this city was, even now it is an envy of everyone else. Even 120 years back, Bombay was an envy of outside Mumbaiites. It was a hot spot even then. So Jamshedji Tata, he thought there was no place which was worthy of Bombay. Thus rose this big monumental place, which is India's pride. It symbolizes the youth, the wealth, grandeur, ambitions, aspirations, resilience, progress of this particular nation. It stands tall beyond its 120 years of existence. It represents the strength of this nation. In a similar metaphor rose MISS-AP, that is Minimally Invasive Spine Society of Bharat, which had a similar background. The spine surgeons did not have something that is worthy of India that speaks the language of minimal access. Initially, it started as MISSI. Again, it started at Ahmedabad, sir. And then it was called MISSI Con. It sounds like mission. Indeed, it started as a mission, and it is mission impossible. It's provided platform for thousands of aspiring spine surgeons. Its membership has been doubling every year strength. It is growing from strength to it's growing in strength from year to year. It has become a medium of communication for us to communicate with the international forums, international societies. And the members of this particular society have pushed boundaries and become trailblazers in their own right. We did not believe then, that is 10 years back, that the founders of this particular society had a far-fetched vision. Now we know that this is one of the first societies, first national societies which is propagating MIS. So now SMISS-AP is a blockbuster. It is unstoppable. It has become the Aan, Baan and Shaan of India. And today, it is the center of our solar system. In the similar vein, the SMISS-AP rose. We did not have a society which was worthy of our continent and our ethos. Our spine patients, our spine scenario is different. Our patterns are different. Our patients behave differently. Our disorders are different. So we wanted our own society here. So from the mother society, that is SMISS, we formed an extra group which is called the SMISS-AP, which has all the constituents of Southeast Asia countries, including Australia. This was formed in 2018 at the hotspot of Las Vegas. Why not? Because if you see the literature, Southeast Asia forms the crucible, the laboratory and cradle of MIS. And I am proud to say that this is the largest meeting of SMISS till date. Again, I want to highlight the board of this particular society, the board members. Right in the middle is the core committee of SMISS-AP. I thank them for coming here, all of you. And to the left is Dr. Michael Wang. He's the president of SMISS. I thank you for coming here, taking time out and coming here. And there is the prince of our conference, Dr. Ayush Sharma, who is the director, actor, producer, choreographer, and everything of this particular show. Thank you, Ayush. And my home, my bedrock, my friends, my family, that is Bombay Spine Society, who have stood like pillars supporting this particular conference. Again, it started as a casual Bombay Spine Club, not a card-playing club. A society. So I had to deliver a similar plenary lecture in Bangalore 2 years back. It was there the next day. I was on my way to the airport and my patient had a serious complication. I just called him and said, Gautam, since you're not attending the conference, can you manage this particular patient? He went there. 1.5 days he was with my patient. He pulled the patient out of that complication. He's an expensive surgeon. Look at his size. But still, he did not charge a single penny. I think that is the flair of this name, Gautam. They are very, very humble. They are very down to earth. They are very helpful. So that shows his character and the character of his men, that is we. And we are the ones who are wearing this blue. We are not hotel employees. This blue means serenity. This blue means peace. This blue means cricket team of India. Now, we got 3 egoistic presidents together. We got 3 men together who are post-menopausal men and stitched this particular alliance for the conference. So after this conference, myself and Ayush, after all the hard work, you are giving up our scalpels. We're going to start a marriage bureau. If you can get 3 men together, I think it's not difficult to get a man and a woman together. I would like to take Rojal Hartel and Dr. Arvind Jaiswal's name in the same breath. Dr. Arvind Jaiswal was the founder president of this particular society. He was our jewel on the crown. He still is the jewel on the crown of SMISS-AP. He heralded the genesis of this particular society. Parallelly, Hartel has been a close friend, a great motivator, and a brilliant teacher. It sounds very well, Hartel, and I think he's the one who can do justice to this particular annual oration that we have. Friends, as I said, I was going to talk about stories. There are a lot of stories about India, that India is a country of snakes, snake charmers, elephants, rope tricks, black magic. Friends, it's all history. It's all into rubbish. Beautiful endoscopes have replaced these snakes. The maverick surgeons have replaced the snake charmers. High-tech robots, high magnification microscopes and endoscopes have replaced elephants. And the beauty of minimal access surgery happening all across our OTs has replaced these rope tricks and black magic. It's a different India altogether. Why? Because Indians are aspirational. They are born entrepreneurs. They are tireless workers. This is epitomized by none other than the maverick and highly distinguished Mr. Gautam Adani, who is the chief of the Adani Group. He's a best illustration for aspiration, hard work, entrepreneurship, and all the best qualities and adjectives one can possess. I would like to welcome this titan, who is India's first and only first generation entrepreneur to have taken a company from a startup to $100 billion diversified conglomerate and then to a $200 billion. When I read newspapers, when I have to make a small investments, when I have to buy an instrument, I get impetus from him. So Mr. Gautam Adani has bought this port, that port, this airport. So I said, he's investing so much, bloody hell, I can't invest 2 lakh rupees. So I get that impetus to invest. So I don't get scared, I develop a brave heart. So this is the kind of discussion I have with my hospital people. In just over 3 decades, for us to become doctors and settle down, that is 3 decades, he has built the most critical infrastructure that India needs to be independent and to stand tall before the world. From seaports to airports, from thermal power to renewables, from roads to data centers, he is building the pillars of modern India. You can look at the mirror image. It sounds almost the same number of vowels and consonants, and it looks like a mirror image, India and Adani. So he is no stranger to medicine. His better half is a dentist by occupation. Now you know the smile on his face, where it comes from. The entire family is known for its grace and humility. And he has definitely something in store for the doctors. As he is transforming India's energy and infrastructure landscape, he is now leading a silent revolution in healthcare, education and skill development, believing that no nation can rise without empowering its people. From world-class hospitals and digital classrooms to the largest grassroots skilling initiative in India, he is investing in India's future. The only thing, a visionary who speaks less and does more, a builder of both assets and trust. So ladies and gentlemen, please invite Shri Gautam Adani, the chairman of Adani Group. All yours.
So thank you, Dr. Kulkarni. Distinguished doctors and my dear friends. It is an honor to stand before you addressing some of the finest medical minds in India. Let me begin by saluting you for the work you do. Your humanity is what restores your patient's dignity. It gives them the strength and the courage to stand tall again. To the world, you may be known as our spine doctors, but for your patients, you are something far greater. You represent hope. And speaking of hope, let me share something personal. One of my all-time favorite movie is Munna by MBBS. Not just for the laughter, but for the message. Munna Bhai was not just healing people with a medicine. He was healing them with a humanity. It reminded us all that true healing goes far beyond surgery. Healing is hope. Healing is humanity. जैसा कि मुन्ना भाई ने कहा था कि जादू की झप्पी हो या सर्जरी का स्कैल्पेल, दोनों में एक ही बात होती है और वो है इंसानियत. My dear friends, when I was first invited to speak here, I hesitated. What could I, as a builder of enterprises, possibly offer to you, the healers of spines? But as I sat with that question, a deeper metaphor came to my mind. The spine as you restore resilience to our bodies, leadership is about restoring resilience to the organization. So perhaps today, this shared metaphor will remind us that the spine is both a medical miracle and a corporate necessity for self-belief. It was with this same spine of self-belief that I made my first bold decision at the age of 16. I bought a second-class train ticket and left for Mumbai with no degree, no job, and no backup, except burning desire to define my own path. आखिर में किसी चीज को दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने की साजिश में लग जाती है. My dear friends, in Mumbai, I began learning to short and polish diamonds. Each stone I polished taught me patience, precision, always outpace my doubts. And that is the truth. It never begins with us the courage to act. And then walk alone before others joins the path. क्योंकि सपने वो नहीं जो नींद में आते हैं, सपने वो है जो नींद उड़ा देते हैं. Just as I was settling down in Mumbai, I was called back to Ahmedabad to help my brother to run his PVC film factory. It was 1981, and I was where just a few companies controlled the landscape and did not want any change. Reflecting back, all of these experiences proved to be invaluable for me, as the most significant decade of India's transformations was just about to get started. And this in turn gave me the platform for transformations that was to reshape my thinking forever. मुन्ना भाई फिल्म की सबसे गहरी बातों में से एक ये थी कि बापू ने कहा था बदलाव लाना है तो सोच बदलनी होगी. In 1985, Shri Rajiv Gandhi, then the Prime Minister of our country, began liberalizing our economy by easing import licensing norms. This was a quite but significant reform. It was as if an economic pressure valve had opened up. We moved fast, becoming early importers of polymers and laying the foundations for our trading house. I was 23. Then came 1991, and India faced one of the darkest ever, with just 10 days of foreign exchange reserves left. Under the decisive leadership of the then Prime Minister, Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao, and Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, India launched a historic economic reset. 3 words define it: devaluations, deregulations, and globalizations. This marked the fall of many major established corporates who had the protection of license Raj. But for us, first generation entrepreneurs, it was the spark of reinventions we had been waiting for. We immediately established a global trading business, which in just 2 years went on to become India's largest trading house. This year was 1993, and I had already turned 31. Progress is never linear, and the biggest opportunity almost always emerge on the other side of the hurricanes. जहां सबने तूफान देखा, वहां कुछ ने अपनी नाव निकाली और समंदर पार कर लिया. Because in moments when others back off in fear, it is those with courage that step forward and build the bridge to the future. This belief in the future would become the operating DNA of the Adani Group. It was this spirit that carried us into 1995. Adani Exports, which you know as Adani Enterprise, went public. The listing came at an extraordinary 14 times premium. I was 33. On paper, it was a moment of a great validations. But within me, it also raised a deeper question. Was I trading value, or was I truly building it? I realized that if we were to shape the future, it was a time to make a bold decision. Trading commodities had given us a momentum, but it was time to build. The very infrastructures that carried those commodities, connected economies, and enabled nations to grow. From that moment on, I decided to build. I decided to chasing the tide and instead become the coastline that shaped the tide. And I decided to stop reacting to change and instead become the foundation that shaped the change. And it all started in Mundra with the objective to build a salt export jetty along with a US partner. To make a long story short, the partner backed out and we were left to build the jetty by ourselves. Around this time, in 1995-96, Gujarat government pioneered a public-private partnership policy for port development, aiming to tap private sector capabilities. We dived right in. Keep in mind, we had never laid a brick before. Almost everyone called it madness. A port in a marshland to be built by a team with a no construction experience. The fact is, in October 1998, our Mundra port commenced operations with his first berth, thereby making India's first private port launch. Thereafter, a few years later, the SEZ policy was announced. Once again, we moved fast, while others saw a barren land. We saw 40,000 acres of possibility. My dear friends, Mundra is the manifestations of a belief made real. It is a reminder that vision dares, destiny bends. It is now India's largest multi-cargo port, the world's largest private single-site thermal power plant, India's first HVDC transmission line, India's largest integrated solar cluster of vital industries that and what started in our Karma Bhumi has now become a pan-India network of dreams, powering our growth that has made us the world's second largest solar power company and building world largest single-site hybrid renewable park of a 30 gigawatt spanning over 500 square kilometers. India's largest integrated private airport operators, with over 25% of India's passengers and 38% of our nation's air cargo. India's largest ports and logistics network, handling 30% of nation's seaborne cargo. Most highly integrated energy business, encompassing thermal and renewable generations, transmissions, distributions, LNG, LPG, CNG, PNG, battery storage, hydrogen trucks, EV charging stations, pump hydro, and mining. India's second largest and most efficient cement manufacturer, as well as aerospace and defense, data centers, and real estate. My dear friends, one point I would urge you to keep in mind is that our investments are manifestations of our belief in the future of India, in our energy grids, in our logistics arteries, in our industrial backbone. And it is with these convictions that we are preparing for a capital expenditures investment of nearly 100 billion US dollar over the next 5 years. The scale and pace of this investment and its commitment is unprecedented in India's private sector history. As we do our part for strengthening the very spine of India's rise, a spine that must be unbreakable, a spine that must carry 1.4 billion dreams, a spine that tells the world that India's rise is inevitable. My dear friends, let me now shift gears and speak about the role entrepreneurs like us and potentially like you can play together. But first, allow me to share a deeply troubling statistics. I was shocked to learn that low back pain is now the leading cause of a disability in India, ahead of conditions like a diabetic and heart disease. India is facing a spinal epidemic, a silent crisis far more widespread than a global average is. Nearly 1 in 2 adult Indians experiences low back pain. This is not merely a health issue. It is a national crisis, measured not just in pain, but in lost productivity, mounting healthcare costs, and destroyed dreams. If we are to carry the full weight of our national ambitions, we must first heal the spine of our people. To me, this is not just a call for medical interventions. It is a call for entrepreneurial imaginations. And it must have active participations from your side. So today, I would urge you to consider build long surgery, creating low cost, high impact mobile operating theaters that bring hope to the villages. The third pioneers, the for a robotic surgery, regenerative medicine, as an entrepreneur, are endless. But we must and in turn, here is my promise. The Adani Group stands ready to walk with you, and we have already embarked on our journey. 3 years ago, on my 60th birthday, my family pledged rupees 60,000 crores towards healthcare education and skill development. We did not enter healthcare because it lacked momentum. We entered because the momentum was not enough. Was out of step with the urgency of future demands. As the landscape unfolded, one truth stood out. Healthcare does not need incremental upgrades. It needs a system-wide redesign. Not an evolutions, but a revolutions rooted imagine it and build a systems that evolves with science, respond to shifting needs, and harness the full power of AI without losing sight of the human at the center. At the heart of our approach is a comprehensive, multidisciplinary model that breaks traditional silos. Today, academic training and research operate in parallel, but rarely in sync. We envision a system where they converge, each reinforcing the other, where adjacent sectors like technology, management, and service are not afterthoughts, but part of an integrated fabric delivering outcomes. Therefore, we are investing in modular, scalable infrastructures of the kind that can expand rapidly in the face of pandemics or emergencies. We are championing the creation of large, world-class healthcare institutes that bring together innovations, patient care, and applied learning under one roof. We also believe that academic training must evolve on fostering doctors who not only heal but also lead with skills in robotics, AI, systems. Their educations anatomy to include empathy, ethics, and enterprise. We also realize that we cannot speak of transformations stronger, the spine of the systems that comes from our nursing and our paramedical forces. Hence, we are also investing in building top-tier training institutes and establishing rigorous protocols to ensure that quality becomes a habit, not an exception. Finally, we must reimagine how healthcare is financed by placing people and not paperwork at the center. Human-centric insurance products that support and empower families will be a cornerstone of the new healthcare architectures to build. We are here to build India's healthcare for tomorrow and a system that is integrated, intelligent, inclusive, and inspired. And we will be delivering on this promise through the Adani healthcare temples that are 1,000-bed integrated campuses that we will initiate from Ahmedabad and Mumbai. These are designed to be world-class, affordable, AI-first healthcare ecosystem. And we are proud to have the Mayo Clinic guiding us on the design, implementations, and global standards in a medical infrastructure and research. And so, my dear friends, in closing, let me leave you with my final thoughts. If you dream of a medtech breakthrough, go for it. If you can imagine a spinal care revolutions, go for it. Not stand. The spine you save today may belong to the engineer who designs tomorrow's bridges, the farmer who feeds our cities, the scientist who invents our next vaccine, or the entrepreneur who builds our next billion-dollar company. So let us stand tall. Let us stand together and let us build the backbone of our great nations. Thank you. Jai Hind.
For your words of wisdom, and we are really grateful, and maybe I like to call upon Dr. Arvind Kulkarni to bestow upon some token of appreciation from the whole team. So we have a salt to be presented first. And a small memento from SMISS-AP and the all fraternity of spine surgeons across India and across the globe. Thank you so much.